Alright, so today we'll start with the exam skills, right? You will fix everything? Not yet? Oh, we didn't finish exercise 13. Okay, then we'll fix that first before moving to the next one. Study this table and graph, then answer the question which follows. So we have one table and one graph here. Okay, which of this information would you include in your answer, right? Okay, now number one, Quỳnh Hương. Yeah, should we include this? Yes, we should put this in your writing part. Here. The most successful athlete is Michael Phelps from the USA, who has won the most medals for swimming. So remember, always the highest number, the lowest number, something special. We always have to mention in the writing part. Okay, so of course someone who got the highest number or won the most medals should be mentioned, of course. So Michael Phelps here, and we have country USA, sports swimming, total 22. Okay, so we can say something like that. Now number two, Tô Yên. Yeah, so should we mention them? Should we mention this sentence? Yes. Yeah, the chart also shows that 3 of the top 5 athletes were gymnasts from the USSR. We can look at the table here, right? And then we can see that 3 of the top 5 athletes were gymnasts. Those include Larisa Talanina, okay, from the USSR, and 2 other people here. So we should mention something like that. Now number 3. What? Yes or no? No, yes, we should not put this in your writing part. Why? Because it's like listing things, right? Nothing special here, and it looks really boring. If you just mention all the name, Michael Phelps won 22 medals, Larisa Latinina 18, and then you just list all of them. It looks really boring. It's not interesting at all. And also, when people look at this, they don't know what you're trying to say, right? You just list all of the things. If you're trying to list all of the things, then people can look at that themselves. Why should they read your report, right? And also, I remember there's a tip somewhere saying that you should not do that, right? Where is that? Where? Yesterday you learned that already. You don't know where it is anymore. So that means that you don't review what you learned yesterday, right? Okay, now let's continue. If you don't remember, let's continue. Number 4. Thi Nga. Yeah. The sports which the athletes achieved medals in were swimming, gymnastics, and the biathlon. Do we need to mention that?
I think no.
Why not?
Because it just show the thing that they participate.
Yeah, they just mentioned, they just list the name of all the sports here. It's totally useless. If you do that, then it's very boring. If you do that, then you have to say something like, well, from the table we can see 5 names, like 5 athletes, and then you mention, oh, name there, Michael Phelps, Larissa, Latinina, and then all of the name there, and then they come from a few countries. You say the USA, USSR, Norway, and the sport they participated they participate include swimming, gymnastics. It's really boring, guys. Okay, really boring. If you just list all of them, it doesn't mean anything. Or you just mention, oh, the chart have the name of some countries or the number of the medals. No, don't do that. Totally useless for the readers. You just mention or you just report something interesting, right? So this one is totally boring. It doesn't work. It doesn't mean anything. So we don't need to write that. Okay. Now number 5. Mình, you didn't attend the class last time, so maybe Quỳnh Hương, you can do that.
In summary, those charts illustrate that the 2 most successful countries in Olympics were the USA and the USSR.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, we should put this in our writing part as well, because this is the summary, right? In summary, both charts illustrate that the 2 most successful countries in the Olympics were the USA and the USSR. Yes. So remember, anything like the most, the least, okay, the highest, the lowest, something like that we need to mention. Okay, and something changes and it looks interesting. Okay, doesn't look the same, then you need to write about it. But for anything, it's just like listing all of the things and everything looks just the same. It's not interesting at all, so don't mention it in your writing part. Got it? Okay. Exercise 14 is said to study the line graph again and write 3 statements similar to those in exercise 13. Like some statements here, but we don't need to do that. We just jump right in the exam skills, because here you have to write a complete essay for this. Okay, it's more interesting that way. Now exercise 15, Min, you can read that.
Use the information language from this lesson and answer this writing part 1 task. You should spend about 20 minutes on this task. The chart and graph below give information about participants who have entered the Olympics since it began. Summarize the information by selection and reporting on the main figures and make comparisons where relevant. Write at least 150 words.
Yes. Okay, you need to summarize information by selecting and reporting on the main features. Remember the main features only, not something which is not that important, not that interesting. So don't just mention that. Okay? Just mention or reporting on the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Yeah, so here we have 1 chart and 1 graph. We have 2 charts here. Okay, 1 bar chart and 1 line graph here. Okay, and you just look at that carefully, and now you can do writing. You have 20 minutes. Can someone just kind of tell me about the structure of the essay? What should we do? Someone just tell me, loud and clear. If you try to speak to yourself, then do it somewhere else, not here.
I think in the first paragraph you write the introduction.
Yes.
The introduction must include like you have to paraphrase the topic
Yes.
in your own words.
Yeah.
And Do not include any specific numbers.
Yeah.
Next is the body. You can write for the first chart, the bar chart first.
Mm.
You write about the main point.
Yeah.
For the next body, you can write about the second line chart. Also the main point and some comparisons.
Yeah, very good. And how about the overview or the summary? Can we put it like where can we put it? Like after you just said it, we need to put it after the introduction, right?
Yes.
And where else can we put it?
At the end.
Yes, at the end. Okay. So you can choose. You can either put a summary or the overview right below or right after the introduction, or you can keep that until the end. It's up to you. Doesn't matter. But whatever Quỳnh Hương just said is totally correct. Okay? So now you need to do the same. You need to do something like that. So we need one introduction, one overview, and the main body. The main body should include 2 paragraphs. One will be used to describe the first bar chart, right, or the bar chart, and the other one is used to describe the line graph. And then you need to make some comparison in between, right? Okay, do it. You have 20 minutes. Now it's 3:50, right? So you will finish at 4:10. Yeah. Remember, you need to write at least 150 words. So of course, after writing, you need to count, but count smartly. Don't just like go 1, 2, 3. You're wasting your time. Okay. So you better write a little bit more than 150 words. Yeah. The best scenario is something like 160, 170, something like that. But don't go too far. Don't go too much. Okay. Go. 20 minutes. When you can start writing in your notebook. Do you have a notebook? Next time you must have it, okay? Because you cannot just do it on your phone and then you give it to me. I won't read that. time's up, right? Okay, I want to read some of your writing points. TOEIC finished? Give it to me. Let's see. Okay, thank you. From here? Yeah? To here? Okay. Do you understand the meaning of each gender? What does that mean? No. Each gender doesn't mean. Yeah, kind of. We are not the other gender. It's different. Each gender, that means they are talking about male and female separately. That's the meaning of each gender, not the other gender. Okay? Okay, well, this one is an acceptable one. Okay, I can understand what you are trying to write here. You need to learn some kind of like the transition, moving from one paragraph to the other one. Okay, don't just use something moving to the like graph or something. This doesn't sound natural here. Okay, the good thing is you completely understand the two charts here, and you already know what you have to explain here. So first of all, from the introduction, you already introduced the two charts, right? And then you have an overview, and then you talk about the general trend of both of them. That's really good. And then in the body, the first paragraph, you describe the bar chart, and you also make some comparisons here. That's really good. And then the line graph on the next paragraph, you also describe that one. It's understandable. It's just the way of writing or describing things here, some of them kind of confusing. Okay, maybe because you still don't know the way to use the word gender efficiently, because when you use each gender like this, it's wrong. And also you use something like then it went on the similar way of the different gender, so it doesn't mean much. I understand what you're trying to say, but what you write here It's not what you mean. Okay, or it doesn't really explain things well there. Okay, and go to the highest point with yourself. Okay, be very careful with that. Okay, yeah, we don't say it went on the similar way of the different gender. It's a little bit confusing. Yeah, you know how to make some comparisons here, so it's okay. Yeah, you make some good progress compared with the previous essay, so it's alright. It's alright. We don't say the total of something, right? The total. We need a noun there, right? We are talking about the total number of something. We need a noun. We don't say the total of something. And the tense, be very careful of the tense, because you are talking about the past, right? But you still use a simple present tense here. Like grow up gradually, no. Okay?  can guess something like from 5.5 almost 6 points, but not exactly. Okay, can go up a little, almost 6 points, but not really. Okay, who's next? Will come. Quỳnh Hương, your introduction is not good enough. Starting here, yeah, it's not enough, because you say that the chart and graph illustrate information about athletes who participate in the Olympics competition from the beginning. From the beginning of what? Right? We need the real time here, like from 1924 to 2012, right? We don't say from the beginning. The beginning of what? And also who participated, not participate, okay? Is the past. Mm. 1920? Do we have 1920 here? Trời ơi. Me? This is number 4, not 0. Cái số 0 to trên hình đây kêu số 4. Alright. Okay. Okay. A significant rise or insignificant rise, which one is correct? Yeah, you make a lot of, be careful when you make a lot of mistakes in terms of when of using or an here, because when you use or an, you have to consider the word next to that, right? For example, noticeable, that is an adjective, and you have a consonant here. You don't use unnoticeable in Greece, right? You have to use what? We don't use unnoticeable in Greece. We have to. Yeah. Okay. So just remember that. Okay. For the next time. The line chart saw the same upward trend. Be careful. Yes, you have to use in the past, but when you talk about a chart, the chart shows this one or that one or something, you have to use simple present tense. But then when you say something else, yes, you have to use the past tense. Yes, I know it's tricky, but be very careful. You cannot say the line chart saw the same upward trend. No. The most greatest difference over time. Okay. Be very careful. We don't say the most greatest. The most, that is superlative form, and then you have greatest, another superlative form, and then you have difference. We don't do that. Okay, we just say the greatest difference. We don't say the most greatest difference. Okay. Rising, yeah. Be very careful, because if we make so many grammar mistakes here, then that will affect our points, right? Again, you understand the charts. You know what you have to do. You need to improve the introduction, make it clearer. Okay. Yeah. I think that for the introduction, you better describe each of them separately, not both of them at the same time. Okay, because like the bar chart, you see that it describes or it shows something, and then the line chart shows something else, right? So to make sure you make it very clear at the beginning, to show that you understand. You don't put them together like that. You don't use, like you said, the chart and the graph illustrate. It's very confusing. Yeah. And also the timeline, you need to mention very well there. Okay. Yeah, you already mentioned some, like some numbers there, like the lowest number and the highest one, the peak, things like that. You still make a lot of grammar mistakes here. Okay. For example, we don't say in Olympics, we have to say in the Olympics. Things like a lot of grammar mistakes here. That for sure will affect your point dearly. So you need to work on that to improve your grammar skills. Okay. You understand the trend. You know how to describe things. Both genders, but you should write both gender without s. So many mistakes like that here. Okay, be very careful. Very careful. Okay. Good. Yeah. Ngọc Anh finished. Yeah. Okay, give it to me. Huh? What's the difference? Okay, thank you. From here, right? Here to here. All right, thank you. Okay. So you got a good introduction here. You still make some grammatical mistakes, but it's still okay in general. But you understand how to write an introduction. Really? For participants, you use the word amount? Really? Do you know when should you use the word amount?
Uncountable nouns.
Yeah, uncountable nouns, right? What you use the present perfect tense here? Guys, you need to learn how to use some kind of transition words, linking words, make it run smoothly. You don't just translate from Vietnamese to English, right? And then you should write what you have to translate there, right? As the bar chart shows, comma. That is translation, right? From Vietnamese to English. Just about 3 women who participated. Only 3 women? What? Exactly 3,000 men join. Here's what you wrote. Exactly 3,000 men joined in the Olympics. Compare, wrong spelling, with just about 3 women who participated. What do you know? 3 women only. Okay. This one quite alright. Okay, you can get somewhere like 5.5 to 6. Okay. Tự finish. Thank you. Steadily, you don't know how to write it. The wrong spelling here. Increase steadily through every period. What do you mean by every period?
Like through 1924 and through 1952.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You're talking about like the like, for example, like one period is like from 1924 to 1952, and the other one is from 1952 to 1984, right? But be careful, because you only use that same word, the same period, in the introduction, and from that word, the period, you means from 1924 to 2012. You understand what I mean? So when you mention that one more time, people will immediately think about that kind of period and not any other period. You understand? And here you say that it increase steadily through every period. It is kind of confusing there. You understand? Be very, very careful the way you describe things here. I know what you mean, but we can do it a little bit better, right? Okay. Yeah, you can get 6 point or maybe a little bit higher. I don't know, but it's hard to reach 6.5, but a little bit better than 6. Okay, 6 to 6.25, but I don't want to write 6.25 here. Somewhere from 6 to 6.5. Okay. How many points did you get last time?
6.
Okay. Minh. What? Give me the phone. No. Next time.
Can I
You read that for me?
read or put it in the paper if you?
Yeah. Later on, you need to write it on the paper and give it to me. Học Anh, okay. Go. On the third paragraph, when you describe the line chart, you don't need to say anything about the bar charts anymore. You cannot just say like the bar chart was the bar chart was about number of men and women participants. However, the line graph give information of all participants who have entered the Olympics. You don't need to do that. Okay, you just say like the line graph. You can start by saying the line graph gives information, blah blah. Okay, you don't need to say something about the bar chart like that. Okay. Yeah, you make a lot of so many grammatical mistakes here, but you still understand the charts. But your writing skills still, you still need to improve a lot here. It's still kind of messy, but at least you make some progress there. I can understand what you mean. The sentences are still very messy. The structures kind of the entire structure of the essay is okay. You have one introduction, you have the main body, and then you have the summary is okay. Yeah, and you know what you need to write in each paragraph, but you make mistakes for almost all of the sentences there. Okay, you have grammatical mistakes on all of the sentences, or most of them. Still somewhere around like band 4 something, 4 to 4.5. Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh. Should have some time left for a short break or something. Okay.